Mr. Stephen A. Smith, now that he has his own YouTube page, goes on a very popular podcast. And what does he do? He mentions my name.
What's up, world? Welcome back to Charge the Game podcast. And oh man, I'll be your host here, Chuck. And Mr. Kwame Brown has definitely reacted to Stephen A. Smith's public apology, guys. And before we get into this video, I want to ask you guys to hit that subscribe button to the right bottom of your screen. If you like the content in the end, give this video a thumbs up. Like always, like, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much. Man, so you guys know I made the video yesterday about how Stephen A. Smith was going around trying to play public victim, right? Seems like Mr. Kwame Brown heard my message and he feels the same way. So I haven't listened to the video yet. All I know is like 20 people sent me the video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig into, the video of him reacting to Stephen A. Smith and apparently, telling us why he feels like Stephen A. Smith is a fake and a fraud right now and how he's using Kwame Brown name to boost his new YouTube channel. Check it out, y'all.
The man himself, Mr. Number One himself. Number one television show. How many times was he gonna tell everybody he got the number one show in ESPN that ain't his show, but nevertheless he owned the show. So something gotta be off now that Stephen A. Smith. Y'all gotta help me understand this, y'all. Please tell me, somebody in the chat, this man wouldn't say my name for almost 3 years. Now, all of a sudden, Mr. Stephen A. Smith, now that he has his own YouTube page, goes on a very popular podcast. And what does he do? He mentions my name.
Exactly, guys. And I spoke on this yesterday. I knew that when Stephen A. Smith had the audacity to go on that podcast that this brother is a heartless. That's what y'all don't realize. First of all, anybody that's going to charge a little kid $3,000 to participate at a basketball camp when this guy never played professional sports, that ought to let you know what type of man that Stephen A. Smith is. Stephen A. Smith is all about his coins. He's all about the hype of basketball. He's all about the hype of what comes with it. But Stephen A. Smith is definitely all about his coins, and he cares nothing about how Kwame Brown feels. And like I said yesterday, this was definitely a publicity stunt. He's trying to evidently cry wolf to make the public come to his defense and make people ease up like, yeah, I think Kwame Brown is... No, Kwame Brown is calling it like I saw it, which I knew that Stephen A. Smith was not being real. And I'm going to tell y'all something else, man. Stephen A. Smith is a mad magician. Stephen A. Smith is feeling iffy and rocky about ESPN First Take. So what he's doing, he's drawing people to his new YouTube, right? Because we all know once you reach the millions of subscribers on YouTube, you could do what Shannon Sharp did. You saw what Shannon Sharp did, right? Shannon Sharp got cocky. Shannon Sharp said, fuck this. Buy me out, please. I'll accept the buyout. I don't want to work here no more. And Stephen A. Smith is doing the same thing. In fact, Skip Bayless was on this. That's why he started to revere Shannon Sharp. He started to say things to him because he knew where Shannon Sharp was headed. He also knew that Shannon Sharp was getting bigger than him, and that's what he feared. And the exact same thing is what's happening with Stephen A. Smith. Not saying that he wasn't already big, but he's obviously using his platform to gain momentum and gain traffic.
But as soon as he get on this very large platform, shout out to Paul George, Stephen A. Smith, I was going to curse, but I'm not. Stephen A. Smith joined the podcast, and lo and behold, he said my name. He did not dodge it. He did not, wow, he said my name outside of ESPN. Wow. Even while I'm off YouTube at the moment.
And Stephen A. Smith was expecting for Kwame Brown to possibly not react to this. When Kwame Brown is going to do the same thing you doing, Stephen A. Smith. He's going to use your name like you used his name for years, and I said that yesterday. Stephen A. Smith used this man's name for years to build his reputation, to build up his momentum, to clown, to get out on, to make him the butt end of the joke. You know what I'm saying? So when you produce content like this, Stephen A. Smith, you should have already knew that Kwame Brown was going to capitalize off of this, especially because Kwame Brown is the victim. Kwame Brown never wronged you.
He said, this is the same man that said my name for over 20 years. He keeps calling himself the number one whatever, but every draft, I think he missed saying my name, y'all. Every time the draft came around, he had my name in his mouth. And so that's why when people say, oh, why you always talking about Stephen A? I don't want to hear that shit.
Now, what I just tell y'all, it's too late. He don't want to hear it. He don't want to hear it, and he's to the point of no return. And I said that in my video yesterday. I said Stephen A. Smith can try to wave that white flag, but once you put a man down for over 20 years, think about that. This man was quiet for dozens of years. Really was quiet for years. Kwame Brown sat back for years chilling, listening to this man torment his name. And as you guys just heard Kwame Brown said, he said, I don't care. I'm going to keep talking, and I don't blame him.
Every time another young black man got a successful pick, guess what they did? They made Stephen A. Smith remind that person of Kwame Brown. Don't be Kwame Brown. Kwame Brown got drafted, almost like tainting these young black men. They didn't say Kwame Brown is in the 1 percentile of income out of these young black men. They didn't say not one thing positive. They didn't say Kwame could buy a whole subdivision. Kwame could hire you. Kwame is going to make more money than probably you'll ever see in your lifetime. They didn't say one thing positive. All they said was all negative things. Just imagine any other race ever had a person that made history like I made history, and they teach their own people to joke and pick on the guy, and they make running jokes every year about that guy.
Now imagine how this man has been sitting back feeling, and you can hear the hurt. Okay, let's just be real. You can hear the hurt and frustration in this brother's Kwame's voice. You can hear that this guy has been fed up. I mean, if I was him, I wouldn't even want to watch the fucking NBA draft anymore, because all they gonna do is talk about me. You can't even gather. Imagine you trying to gather your friends and family around to watch the NBA draft only to get shitted on. Could you imagine how that feels? Stephen A. Smith would never know how that feels. He's not even that much important to talk about annually like that, right? He gets in the news for his antics and his coonish behavior, and here you are tearing a man down who all he wanted to do, who worked for something his whole life, only to be judged and critiqued. And every NBA prospect that come into the draft, you want to say don't be like Kwame Brown. I really want to know what was Stephen A's deep issue with Kwame Brown. Did Kwame Brown knock off somebody that you used to talk to back in the day, Stephen A. Smith? Did he smash on one of the chicks you was in love with? You know what I'm saying? Because y'all know Stephen A. Smith type, right? Stephen A. Smith is the type of dude who go behind Jalen Rose back, and that's a quote-unquote unsolved mystery, right? With the whole Molly Quorum, right? Stephen A. Smith was the dude who was a cornball in school. The girls played to the left, and that's why he's so cocky and arrogant, and it comes out very ugly and condescending, because he never was the guy that was the man. He had to go and do all this, tear people down, tear brothers down, tear reputations down, talk about your money, talk about where you're from, talk about how much of a bust you are, to receive the recognition that he never got as a little boy. To feel accepted on somebody's team because he couldn't make the NBA or make a college team, right?
Just imagine, just name any other player in sports history that they did this to. And it happens to be that I'm a black male, and we talk about black masculinity all the time. Not just LeBron. You had a Kwame Brown and many other players come out of high school that I think all should be highlighted, not just Kwame. But what they do is they make us black folks compete, just like slavery. They give us a little bit of crumbs. And even though we make a lot of money, it's still crumbs to the people that's paying us.
And that's exactly why I love this brother's channel, man, because y'all can joke on this man all y'all want, right? But this man gets deep. This man gets deep and really breaks down a lot of stuff that people overlook, right? not only about sports, but this is relatable to hip hop, music, culture, school, sports. Like, if you go back and think about the way the slave mentality was, a slave's life mission was to perform for his master, right? Now think about today's time, right? Tie that same mentality into the people like Stephen A. Smith, even Shannon Sharp. And I said for the longest, Shannon Sharp had a yes sir boss attitude because of where he was from. I'm from Mississippi, don't get me wrong. I grew up in the same element, the same environment. I'm just a little bit younger, right? They grow up with this mindset. They don't really know their worth. All athletes are just more paid, but that doesn't mean that the ways have changed or the system has changed. Listen to sports. I mean, literally listen to sports. You don't hear this much scrutiny against other race. If we scrutinize Tom Brady, like, it wouldn't even sound right. It'd probably be boring. Two black talented people or two black talented people from different spectrums to go against each other, it sells. Why do you think that these people invest into TV shows, reality TV shows, right? Bad Girls Club, Love and Hip Hop, right? Basketball Wives. Don't y'all see the blueprint? And this is exactly what brother Kwame Brown is speaking on. Y'all can say that this dude is a bust all y'all want, but this brother is well educated, and most importantly, this brother is woke. That's why I support him, just like I support Kyrie Irving, right? The problem is a lot of people like to go against what they really believe to support what's popular. This ain't that type of channel. And if you listen to this, I will never be that type of way. I support men and women who stand on what they believe, even if you sound like you ludicrous, right? Kyrie Irving said the earth was flat. So what? A lot of people laughed and ridiculed him, but you know what I respected about him? That he was brave enough to say it, because there's 10 million people out there who think the same thing and won't come forward and support this brother at all, right? It's bigger than how it sounds sometimes. Why don't we just say how we feel, right? Why don't we say, okay, I believe that too. Does that make me dumb? No, right? That doesn't make me dumb. Have y'all fucking flew out of space and looked at the planet? We only go off what we see. And I'm not saying like I agree with Kyrie Irving and none of that shit, because I think that the planet is round. But shit, I'm saying shit. What if he knows something I don't?
You know, they started realizing that, hey, this is one way we can divide so that people can never listen to these people. And I don't think it's a reason why he is mentioning my name now, because of what they always do. They divide and they conquer, but they haven't conquered. What this all about is what Stephen A is trying to do now. Pull the wool over your eye. Fuck a petty argument. Stephen A, you are the weasel that went to high schools and college and talked about a professional athlete to children.
That's truly sad, man, that you would make it your business in order to serve your boss. You would literally go to high school and colleges and talk about somebody. And I remember listening to that video a while back. I forgot what channel I was watching, and this guy literally played the playback of Stephen A. Smith, like literally putting on a performance talking about how Kwame Brown was a bust, how Kwame Brown sucked, and if you go to the league, don't be like him. Like, who does that? So now you want to go on Paul George's podcast and turn around and say you apologize for everything that you did to this man? Like, how is that even real? And now when he finally speaks and he's scolding you so bad, you want a public announcement to the world that you regret everything that you said about him. You called this man a bona fide scrub several times. So there you go, guys. Just as I suspected, Stephen A. Smith is up to those devilish ways, trying to put on the show. You guys got to realize Stephen A. Smith is not just an analyst. Stephen A. Smith is an entertainer. What did he say? He literally told you guys, I wake up every morning thinking about how I can make $1 for my boss. Well, that doesn't mean that he don't wake up every morning thinking about how he can make $1 for himself. He has to stay relevant. And sometimes the best way to stay relevant is to be controversial, to have people talk about topics like this. So, man, you guys let me know what y'all think, man. Y'all think that Stephen A. Smith on that funny stuff again, and what he's doing is completely lame, going out the way, trying to play the public and act like, you know, he wasn't wrong for what he did and he's so regretful? Or do you guys think that, you know what I'm saying, like Stephen A. Smith is right? Do y'all agree with which side are you guys on? Let me know in the comment section overall. Like always, like, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel. And most importantly, let me know how you charge to the game. Peace.